Hey everyone, I hope you're well. Today I want to talk about technology, or rather the lack of technology. It's no secret that today's kids are using computers, phones, and tablets for much of their daily entertainment. And while there are some great apps and shows for kids, all of this tech is so new in relative terms that we don't really have that much information about what it's doing for their brain development. Most days, I prefer to be tech-free with the children that I care for, and sometimes that can be hard. Like if we're waiting in line for something, or we're sitting at a restaurant waiting for the food to arrive, or just having a bit of downtime at home. It can be so easy to reach for those electronic devices to entertain the little ones. But I think in the long run, it's good to have some tech-free days. It's good for our relationship, it's good for them to be bored sometimes, and I think it's good for them to realize that we can play games, no electronics needed, and they can be just as fun. So today, I'm going to show you some of the games that I play with my kids when we're having a tech-free day. And bonus, all you need is some paper and a pencil. Extra points if it's sparkly. First things first, the classic tic-tac-toe. Sometimes my girls and I like to play with different symbols like hearts and smiley faces or butterflies and stars. Feel free to switch up your symbols because it makes it a little bit more fun, especially when you play 30 games in a row. Number 2, the dot game. So if you don't know the dot game, let me explain. You make a grid of any certain number of dots. It can be 4 by 4 if you're playing with a small child, or I'm doing 9 by 9, so we have a lot of possibilities. You make all these little dots and you go in turn. Each person gets to make one line on their turn. Now, as the board fills up, you're going to be able to start making boxes. And when you can make a box with the line on your turn, then you get to put your name initial in the box and you get an extra turn to make one more line. The objective is to fill up the whole board with boxes, and whoever gets the most boxes by the end of the game wins. You can make a list of all the things that you can see, write them all down, and then have your kids go find them. One thing my girls and I really like to do is collaboration drawings. You can do them 2 ways. Either you take one piece of paper and start drawing a little bit, and then they add something else to the picture, or you start at the top of the page and draw something, fold it back so the other person can't see it, and then you put it down and they draw the next thing. And then you open it up and see what you've drawn. Another really fun thing is to have your kids close their eyes and then you tell them something to draw, and they can't open their eyes while they're drawing it. Most of the time it turns out ridiculous, but it's really fun. You can try and make some sort of animal or shape just by ripping the paper. It looks kind of like a dog, maybe, or a bunny. I did it! You can do it either way. And then if you want, you can draw a little face on it and some fur and a tail. Yeah, I think it's super cute. Put a timer on your phone for 30 seconds and pass around the paper and pencil and see how many stars you can make in 30 seconds. And then compare and see who wins. You could play hangman, draw a maze or a word find and have someone else figure it out. You could make shadow drawings, put toys on a paper and draw their shadows, or draw your hands or your feet. Write a rhyming poem, and if your kids are too little to write, you write and they rhyme. Or you could make up a silly story, and you write down the story and they make it up. The key to this one is don't squash any of their ideas, because the sillier the story gets, the more fun it is. As you can see, there's a bunch of fun things you can do with just a few pieces of paper and a pencil. So maybe next time your kids are bored or you're waiting for your food at a restaurant, skip the electronics and try one of these games. I bet you'll have fun. So that's it for today. I hope that was helpful. If you know any other games to play with just a paper and a pencil, please leave them in a comment down below. I hope you have a lovely day, and thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!